Good morning. I'm Jay Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the January 4th, 2025 edition of the Bible Delight in the Details. Today's scripture is from Psalm 46. It's verse 10, the first part of verse 10. Be still and know that I am the Lord. There are several things about this scripture. The first thing is, today is the Jewish Sabbath. Tomorrow, Sunday, will be the Christian Sabbath. Are you keeping the Sabbath? What does it mean to keep the Sabbath day and to keep it holy? Which is one of the top 10 commandments, by the way. And I fear that many of us are not doing it. Some of us are not doing it at all. We're not even trying. We're not going to church. We're not thinking about God. We're not even attempting to do anything different on the Sabbath day. And I'm here to tell you that's wrong. It is simply wrong. Did you hear me? Wrong. Some of us may be attempting. We are going to church. We are doing something that we think is somehow sacred or holy. And yet we are not honoring it in the way it is meant to be honored. And I think that Psalm 46 can give us some insight into this. You see, God knows the life that we are living. He knows it because he created us. He knows because he's omnipresent and omniscient, but he also knows it because he has himself experienced it in the incarnation of Jesus Christ. He knows the distractions, the priorities, the confusion. He understands how we feel overwhelmed. He understands anxiety. He understands a feeling of helplessness or powerlessness that human beings sometimes feel when they recognize their own limitations. He understands all of this. And therefore, he has told us to set aside at least one day out of every 7 to be rejuvenated and to get, frankly, our priorities straight and our perspectives back. Psalm 46 is a fascinating psalm. It's very short, but there are several details that you may not be aware of that. First of all, it says right there in Psalm 46 that it was written by and was for and to be sung by the sons of Korah. Now, if you know anything about the ancient history of Israel, you may remember that Korah was the name of a family that rebelled against the leadership of Moses. And the earth literally opened up and swallowed them alive, but not all of them. There were some remnants of that family, and that family bounced back, and they became choir masters, singers in the temple of the Lord under King David and King Solomon. So one of the things that the Sabbath is set aside to do is to remind us that no matter what mistakes we have made, no matter what generational curses, I keep hearing that a lot. I don't necessarily believe in that. I do believe in generational consequences, and impacts. But whatever might be holding you back, whether of your own doing or others or circumstances, there's a way back. And that way back is to be honoring and worshiping and adoring the Lord, just like those sons of Korah did. The other thing is that the statement, be still and know that I am God, comes at the end of a recitation of how we will not fear because we know that God is God. Even though the earth may split and the heavens may fall and the mountains may fall, regardless of whatever is going on around you, no matter how bad things may seem, God is indeed still God. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, if you're not with God, if you don't have a relationship with the Lord, it may not mean very much, except things might get very bad for you later or even now. But if you are in relationship with the Lord, then remembering that God is God will give you great comfort, because it means that he knows you and he does have plans for you, and that ultimately all will be well. And even now, things are well, because it is just the middle of the chapter. It's not the end of the book. To be still is to stop striving on our own. You know, it's not just that God is saying, I, Yahweh, the covenant God, is God. It's saying that I'm God and you aren't. So calm yourself. I forget to whom this quote is attributed, but someone said that fear comes when we think it's all on us, when we're responsible for everything. And because we know our limitations and we feel them so keenly, we fear. But if you don't think it's up to you, if you think that there is somebody who is powerful and willing to do what is right and has your best interest at heart, then that fear does subside, does it not? My friends, this weekend, take the time to honor the Sabbath, which is not a burden, but a gift, a good habit that has been commanded for you to take the time that you need, that I need, that we all need, to be still, to still our own work and our own striving and our own worry and our own fretting, as my grandmother used to call it, and remember that we are not God, and that we can know the real God, and that when you are in relationship with him, you can rest at ease and be rejuvenated for the new week. Enjoy your Sabbath this weekend. I'm J. Lenora Bressler. Visit me on the next edition of The Bible, Delight in the Details. Have a wonderful and restful Sabbath. Bye-bye.